Hey guys, welcome back to Jacq of All Trades. I'm Jack, your overworked solopreneur and content creator and professional negotiator with myself. Yeah, you heard that right. Today we are diving into something every freelancer, entrepreneur, and solo business owner knows all too well. The hardest negotiations don't happen with clients. Nope. They happen in your own brain. And let me tell you, negotiating with yourself way messier than negotiating with anyone else. At least a client responds when you make a good point. With yourself, it's all guilt trips, passive aggressive side eyes, and imaginary arguments where you usually lose. Let's talk about the high stakes debate between desire and money. If you're self employed or a freelancer, you know the scenario all too well. A gig comes along that pays really well, but is a boring, soul draining work. And then there's the dream project. Creative, exciting, meaningful, but it barely pays for your pork chop. This is where your brain turns into a courtroom. Passion shows up in a crisp suit, holding a briefcase of ideals, pleading, "These will drain you. Please think of your soul." Bills is the aggressive prosecutor pounding the table. "Yeah, but you need to eat. Mortgage isn't going to pay itself." And you're the poor judge in the middle, trying to maintain order, knowing that no matter what ruling you give, someone's going to cry, usually yourself. The truth is, it's not about whether the project is good or bad. It's about whether you can convince yourself you can survive doing it. And yes, I've had both sides of this. I've agonized over high paying but boring gigs and low paying but heart tingling ones. It's a negotiation that never ends. So, I use a simple decision matrix. On a piece of paper, score each project on two things: income potential and personal satisfaction slash skill growth. Give each a score from 1 to 5. Then add them up. Projects with the highest combined score are worth taking. The low scoring ones politely decline. It helps remove the emotional chaos and gives you a clear lens. Next up, let's talk about money, specifically undercharging and over-delivering. If you've ever hired a solopreneur or a freelancer, you'll know how it goes. I used to agree to a rate that barely covers my time, then went above and beyond because I wanted the client to love it. Meanwhile, my inner voice whispered quietly in the corner, "You could have charged double and still been worth it." And this is exactly what I mean by you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. I was negotiating like I was having a clearance sales. Everything must go, including my own worth. Eventually, you learn that negotiation isn't just convincing someone else, it's convincing yourself that you deserve better. And that's terrifying, but necessary. Now, I have a personal minimum rate chart. Decide what your skills and time are worth per hour or per project type. Don't dip below it. If a client balks, negotiate for additional perks like faster payment, fewer revisions, or more creative freedom instead of cutting your rate. Then there's the nightly negotiations about whether or not you need to take a break. You're exhausted, your body is screaming, "Sleep." Your brain is saying, "Netflix?" But then another voice whispers, "Just one more article, just one more video, just one more email." And somehow that just one more always turns into 3 more. Rest is a timid negotiator. This is where burnout sneaks in, disguised as productivity. What do? Time block your day. Schedule rest, meals, and breaks as non-negotiable deliverables. Treat them like deadlines. If it's on the calendar, you follow it. Your future self will thank you. Now, let's talk creative freedom. Money is important, sure, but for a solopreneur like me, flexibility and creative freedom are everything. Sometimes I realized that I had to negotiate terms that allowed me to breathe, create, and not hate life by week 2. So that meant telling clients things like, I work in bursts, I don't do unlimited revisions, and I insist on keeping some creative control. Negotiating creative freedom is hilarious because it's invisible. On the outside, I look like I'm casually agreeing to deadlines, but internally, I'm waving tiny flags like, I'm free here, don't touch my process there. Without that, even a high paying, exciting project can feel like a prison sentence. Draft a creative boundary list. Include things like preferred workflow, maximum revisions, response times, and deadlines. Share it early with clients. This protects your energy, prevents unnecessary scope changes, and lets you deliver your best work. Finally, my friend, asking for help is the hardest negotiation of all, at least for me. The truth is, I don't do it. I assign myself 11 roles in my business, approve all overtime requests, and then was surprised when I burn out. I'm the CEO, the employee, HR, and unpaid therapist all in one. And obviously, nobody else is stepping in to tell me to take a break. Negotiating for help is the one battle I consistently lose. But hey, admitting it is the first step, right? If you're like me, you gotta learn to start delegating. Pick one task this week to delegate, automate, or outsource. It doesn't have to be huge. Even scheduling social posts, automating invoices, or hiring a freelancer for micro tasks can free up mental space. Small wins compound. Being a solopreneur is this mix of freedom and madness. You get to choose your project, set your schedule, and make your own rules. But you don't always get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate, especially with yourself. It's like a tug of war going on within yourself. Every late night email, every scope changes you quietly accept, every boundary you fail to set is part of this ongoing negotiation. And maybe the first step toward getting what you truly deserve is realizing that the hardest deal you'll ever make isn't with a client, it's with yourself. So, next time you're debating a project, over delivering on something underpaid, or convincing yourself to work one more hour, just remember, negotiate wisely. And maybe for once, negotiate yourself into a break. Before you go, a small side quest announcement. I've started streaming casually on Twitch, mostly games for now, because gaming is still my favorite way to decompress and pretend I'm not running a business in my head 24/7. But I'm also toying with the idea of doing occasional just chatting sessions on Fridays. Nothing rigid, nothing corporate, just a space for my fam, friends, podcast listeners, and medium readers to hang out, chat, and talk about things like, well, everything I just wrote about here. Think discussions, questions, shared frustrations, random tangents, and probably a bit of chaos. It won't be a strict weekly thing, more of a when life allows situation. But if that sounds like your vibe, you're more than welcome to join me over at twitch.tv/JackTidus. I'll leave that in the show notes. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. If you have thoughts about negotiating with yourself, burnout, undercharging, or anything from this episode, let me know in the comment section. I genuinely love to hear how you handle these internal negotiations and which ones you're still losing. Cool? I'll see you in the next one.